Hi, this is me, Catherine. And this?
Let's put our hands together for Miss Catherine Jones!
This is my friend Russell Brunson.
What's up? How you doing?
And Russell just wrote a book. It's called Traffic Secrest, aka how to get people to come to your site and actually buy your stuff, which, let me just tell you how important that is. You could be sitting on the most incredible product or service in the world, but if nobody knows that you exist, then nobody's gonna buy. Briefly, Russell gives us the underground playbook for filling your websites and funnels with your dream customers. I told Russell I was more excited for this than I was for Harry Potter, which, as loyal as I am to my Hufflepuff heritage, I've gotta be honest. I stand by that statement. Russell sent me a copy of the book a few weeks ago, and I fell in love with it. So obviously, I jumped behind helping this dude get this book into the hands of as many people as possible. What's a girl gotta do to pad and interrupt? Buy this already! Should people buy the Traffic Secrets book from me?
You'd be an idiot not to.
See? Oh my gosh! Well, that's incredible. Of course I'll do it. And then, Russell sent me this.
Other than that, everyone's just promoting. We're doing a million Facebook Lives and webinars from home, so if you want to do a webinar or anything, let me know. I'm game for that.
I'm sorry, do I want to do an interview with you, Russell? Of course I want to do an interview with you about this. Ah! Here's the deal about this dude. He drinks his own Kool-Aid. Which means that when he tells people to go on a press tour and they launch something, just like Hollywood actors do, he does the same thing. Now, if you've been following Russell at all, he's been a busy man the last few weeks. Which brings us to now. I think I'm about Russell's 50th interview. So I thought we should do something special. I mean, if a man's gonna press tour, he might as well press tour right. So I decided I would call a few friends.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Is this Jimmy?
Yes.
Okay, hold on, let me call James.
Hello?
James, is that you?
It's me.
Okay, can you hold? I need to make another call.
All right,
Yeah,
see you in a
no,
minute.
hold. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, we're gonna need to do a little webcam for this one. Jimmy, hi!
I like the glasses. I'm gonna wear mine too, just
Listen, Jimmy, can you hold for like 2 seconds?
yeah.
Ellen, it's Catherine.
How are you?
Listen, I've got Jane and the Jimmies on hold, but I want to pitch something to you guys at the same time. Yeah, but before I do it, could you actually help me get in contact with another person? Yeah, they've kept me on hold for like 11 minutes. I know! Do you think you could... Oh my gosh, she's actually calling right now.
You called me and I wanted to call back. Is this a good time?
Gosh, I mean, anytime's a good time. Are you just Skyping in? Is that what you're doing?
Skyping in. That's exactly what I'm doing. Hi.
Okay, Oprah, thanks for giving me a call back. I actually have a bunch of people on the line. I'm gonna patch you all through at once. Okay, I think I got everyone. All right, guys, I've actually got a proposition for you.
Man, give it to me.
So I have this friend, and he just launched a killer book.
Hold on, let me get a pen.
It changes the total game when it comes to online business, about how to get your dream customers to actually
I
create
believe
funnels
that when
and
you
websites.
dream it and conceive it, you can have
That's
it.
exactly what I'm saying, Oprah. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, his name is Russell Brunson. No, not Branson. Brunson. Yeah, Brunson. And his book's called Traffic Secrets. Anyway, he's actually going to be on my show today, and I think that you people need to be there.
Wouldn't that be something?
James, my man, you've been a little quiet. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah? You're down?
Really?
Oh, nice. Awesome. Okay, listen, I'm going to patch Russell through in just a minute.
All right, see you in a minute.
That went pretty well. It's about time Oprah called me back. Are you kidding me? Okay, let me just set Russell up. He is going to love this. Hey, Harry!
What's up? How you doing?
I know you know this, but dude, this is good. Like, this is so good! Oh my gosh! And because of that, I couldn't keep it to myself. So I have questions, I have friends that have questions.
Just doing both.
Alright, perfect. Well, let me just throw it over to Jimmy Kimmel, who, he has our first question for us.
Was it fun to write the book?
Yeah, it's funny because parts of it happen in different spots. In fact, when I read the audiobook a month or two ago, and what's funny is I'm reading the audiobook, I put myself where I could remember where I was at when I was writing different parts. There was one part where I had a big deadline coming up, and we were taking our family down to Lake Powell, so we were in an RV, and my poor little cute wife, Colette, who's tiny. She's like driving this huge RV. She's scared to death. The kids are going like chaotic everywhere, and I'm sitting like in a bed on a computer plugged in, and all the heaters are dead in the RV. We're sweating, pouring sweat. The kids running around, and like I remember writing that paragraph like in the middle of this chaos, like hoping my wife doesn't wreck and we die, and like.
Now let's throw it over to the other Jimmy.
Why now? Why did you decide to do this?
It was funny because I thought I was done. Like I was like, I'm never gonna write a book again. And it was on day 2 of the Expert Secrets book launch. Day 2, John Reese, who owned Traffic Secrets, and for those who don't know, he was like the first guy in our industry to do $1 million in a day, selling a course called Traffic Secrets. And he was like one of my first mentors. And he emailed me. He's like, hey, I think I'm gonna sell my business. You want to buy Traffic Secrets from me? And I was like, oh, in fact, there's a Funnel Hacker TV like where they captured me freaking out, jumping around, going crazy. Because I was like, I have to write a 3rd book. I'm like, it's a trilogy and all things fit together. And I was like, but I don't want to write a book because like.
All right, just getting word. Oprah has some questions.
How do you know when it truly is the calling or if it's just something you just really want a lot?
I think about like with my friends who I try to help to get started.
Yeah.
One of the very first exercises I tell them to do before anything is literally the Dream 100 exercise. It's in chapter 3 here. Because it comes back to what we just talked about earlier too, of like finding where the traffic's already at. So they're like, I want to launch a business. I'm like, what about? They're like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, okay, this is the deal. Figure out who it is you actually want to serve first. Like, in fact, if you look at the common thread between .com secrets, expert secrets, and traffic secrets, all 3 of them lead with like, who is it you want to serve? Like, figure that out. Or like, please start there first. And so it's figuring that out. But then it's like figuring out who's already congregated those people, like doing the Dream 100 worksheet, which here it is. It's not a big secret. It's really simple. And it's just like, okay, Facebook, who are all the people that have already congregated your dream customers on Facebook, right? Who are the people already big Facebook groups, Facebook following? And you do the same with Instagram. Who are all the influencers that already have your customers? Who are the podcasts that people already listen to? And you do that, excuse me, now you have a picture of like, here's all the people in my marketplace who are trying to serve my customer. And then for us, this, like when you're starting, obviously we're coming in, we're following the principles, we're funnel hacking, we're design hacking, but really like when I look at like the market as a whole, I'm trying to figure out like where, like if it's, let's just say the market is like an ecosystem, right? And there's all these people that are all selling into this ecosystem. Like where do you fit in there? Like what's your unique thing that you have that nobody else has? And I think until you understand like the ecosystem, it's hard to know what to create.
Okay, and it looks like Ellen wants to chime in.
It seems to me more than ever, we need somebody who's going to go in and be able to kind of steer this ship in the right direction instead of going to an extreme.
When I finally, it was like a year into like just thinking and brainstorming, talking to people, like trying to figure out how to do it. When I had this memory of when I first got on started, because to put in perspective, so I know I look like I'm 11, but I've been doing this now. I think this is my 17th or 18th year doing this business. So it's been a little while. Yeah. And when I got started, it was before Facebook, it was before MySpace, it was before Friendster. It was before there were any social networks. And I remember I was trying to learn this game, like how do you get traffic? And the question was a different, like no one really knew the answer. Everyone had like little things that we would try. But I was trying to join, like I wanted to learn from people, and there wasn't like internet marketing things like there are nowadays. Right now there's like masterminds and events happening, but there wasn't. So like I plugged into Dan Kennedy. I was like, I kept hearing his name, so I was like, I bought into his mastermind group, and he was this old school direct response guy. It was him and Bill Glazer and all these old dudes like that you've seen on infomercials and like anyway. And I go to this group, and I'm the only internet nerd there. And they used to make fun of me, like ridicule me. They're like, hey, Russell, this is an envelope. Have you ever seen these before? They come in the mail. You can actually touch them. I'm like, oh, they would just mock me. And I remember one thing that I can't remember if it was Dan or Bill, and one of the guys, they told me, said the reason why most of you internet guys don't have more success is because you think internet marketing is a business. I'm like, what do you mean it is a business? Like, we're internet marketers. He's like, no. He's like, internet marketing is not a business. Internet is a media channel, just like radio or TV or direct mail or newspapers. And internet is a channel. And it's like, when you understand that, it's like the laws and the principles that work in other channels also work here. Mm-hmm. And I forgotten that. And when a year into my freaking out about this book, I had remembered that experience. And I was like, that's it. And I started going back, like looking at the different channels and what worked. And like, I was like, hey, and I started looking back in my past, like how do we get traffic before? I'm like, how do we do it on this network and this network? And how do we do it here? And it was like, there were these principles that fit on every single thing. So like if the internet dies tomorrow, you can take Traffic Secrets book and you can go run direct mail campaigns with it. You can go and you can be successful on radio and TV, like so you can go backwards in time. But also when TikTok hits or Twitch or what's the new social network me and you are going to make together? Whatever that one is. when it goes live, the principles will work there as well, because they're the overarching principles that work in all the things. And so that's kind of, and it ties into these concepts of funnel hacking and design hacking that you and I geek out about. It's like the same thing here. Like, it's not just like, here's the traffic strategy. It's like, how do you hack the people that are having success? Let's look at them and like watch and pay attention, and that'll tell you what's actually working today. And we see that, it's like, it gives you the ability to be able to think for yourself, as opposed to like, I need a tactic that I can plug into the editor, because it's like, no, let me understand what I can model, and I can look and see what we can hack. We call it traffic hacking if we wanted to. Like, how do we hack it to like see what's working and then replicate it for what we're doing in our business.
You provide so many solutions in here, but amongst all of us, like, call us out. Like, what's like the number one like mistake that you see when it comes to how people are trying to tackle this traffic problem?
Yeah, I remember it was right after we launched ClickFunnels. I was speaking in London. I did my little presentation selling ClickFunnels, and then my wife and kids were gone somewhere, I don't know, driving around London, trying to find the palace or something. So I had nothing to do. So I'm sitting in the hallway, like waiting for them to come back for like 2 hours, and people had asked me a ton of questions. I remember somebody asked me this question. It was the first time someone ever asked me this, and they said, it was this guy. So I remember sitting there, like, he's like, when you first got started, I know you had a lot of like successes and failures. He's like, but now it seems like everything you've done has been successful. And I started thinking, I'm like, yeah, like the last, like, I don't know, 30 or so funnels we've done have all worked. He's like, what do you do different now than you did before?
So you have a solution for this. What is it?
I was thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, like before I would create the product first, and then I would create a sales message, and I'd try to find people to sell it to. And I was like, the last 30 were the opposite, where I found the traffic source. I was like, oh my gosh, there's a million people here that are sitting here. And then I would go, and instead of like being creative, I'd go and I'd listen, like, what are they actually looking for? Like, if you look at ClickFunnels, for example, and all three of these books, all of them, like, none of them were based on like Russell's brilliant, like, we have a big idea. It was like, people need funnel software, let's build that. So we did. And then it's like, nobody can understand what a funnel is. And, people are like, what's a funnel? I don't understand. Like, what are we, like, oh, let me write this book because that'll help, right? And then they like, oh, now I know what a funnel is. I funnel software, and it's like, I can't get people to buy my thing. Why aren't they buying? It's like, oh, well, because you don't know how to tell a story. And then that came, and then I don't know how to grow my company. I need traffic. So just coming back to that. So I think, like, if I was getting started today with a new business, I'd be looking around for the traffic source first. Like, as soon as my webinars, remember my thing I'm going to create is done, like, that's like the traffic's right here. I'm going to jump into it. I know exactly where it's at.
How vulnerable did you feel when you were writing it, or when it was about to be, put on the bookshelves?
Stress of like the traffic book is like, this is the hardest book to write, because it's like, it's so changing. I was so stressed, but I was like, I knew I had to do it. But then I for a year sat there. I didn't dare to write for over a year. I was just like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't want to mess this one up. But that's kind of the story behind it. And then about 18 months ago is when I started talking about, I did the event with the Too Comical Coaching, and I did a couple of things. I started like trying to figure it out and trying to like teach in a bunch of different ways to figure out the right stuff and the best stuff. And then anyway, that's when it all began.
I knew it was going to be big, but did you think it was going to be this?
So weird. So when I look at like my career, I don't know, I feel weird. My career as an internet marketing guy, like, it was funny because like for a long time, like my milestones, like we created a product and we sold it, and we'd see a spike in sales, and like, oh, and like that was like, I get such a rush off of that, like, the sales would happen. And that was really fun. And then we launched ClickFunnels, and it was the next thing, but ClickFunnels was like continuity. So it was like the sales started growing from like, I remember it was like $1,000 a day, and then it was like, it was like 10 grand a day, and then 50 grand a day, then 100 grand a day, then 300 grand a day. And it was so exciting. But then when the revenue went up, we do like a product launch, and you see the sales, and it was like this little like blip. It didn't really matter. And I was like, it took all the fun from me from like launching stuff. But what was interesting is like, and so if you look, it'd be funny to go back in time and look at like the stuff I promoted since ClickFunnels, the things we've launched in there. Cause like I get excited about things, and then it was just like, oh, like it was good, but it didn't last. Like they don't last. Like they go and they disappeared. But what was interesting is over the first 3 years of ClickFunnels, like there were two things that lasted. ClickFunnels lasted, and the book lasted. Like people kept buying the book. Like we were selling thousands of copies a week. I'd see people all the time who just discovered it and found it, and like, and there was something about the longevity of it that was I'd never seen before. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, and we didn't really know each other back at the .com when I wrote that first initially, but I hated the process. I will never, like, you couldn't pay me enough money to ever write again. And then after 2 years of it was just like, this is the only thing that's like still around, that's like lasting. All the other projects and things we're doing didn't last.
All right, Russell, thank you so much for meeting my friends. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Congrats on an epic press tour and an even more epic book.
thanks for having me. Thanks for promoting the book. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you to Russell, Jimmy, James, Oprah, and Ellen. You guys are amazing. All right, kids, do yourself a favor. Not only buy this book, but absolutely devour it. If you want to know how to fill your funnels and websites with your dream customers, I am telling you, this is the missing link that online business owners have been craving. Go grab your copy. What else is there left to do? Oh my gosh, who wore better?